So we had actually done a couple of interesting polls on LinkedIn. So we did one from a customer point of view to see how has COVID and the impact to supply chains been transferred over to the customer point of view. So this simple poll shows three different areas that would be visible to a customer if your supply chain is not operating optimally or if anything has changed in it, right? So there's the prices, there's the product availability, and then there's a delivery time. And there's many other factors, but these are the three main ones. So Nick and I were chatting about this offline again. These are not mutually exclusive items. These are things that are interlinked. But what I'm seeing here is, at least within my network, people seem to be most bothered by the lack of product availability. So the way that I interpret this is, if I could order a product, making sure that it's available, and if I could get it from a delivery point of view within a time frame that I need it, I'm willing to pay a bit of a higher price for it. Nick, would you have any comments on how I'm interpreting that?
No, I agree. It's the opportunity is really getting the right product, and it might be a function of search,
Hmm.
or lack of availability that we saw. Recent memory is really empty grocery shelves, and our focus on essentials versus non-essentials, and the challenges that those supply chains have faced. I think that was prevalent in a lot of people's memories as they went through this vote. Um, Longer lead time, we're being hammered with conversations about or messaging of same day delivery and next day delivery. Um, is that really a customer want and desire, or are we using it as an industry to try and differentiate or to attract more sales as a sales measure? Those are the two
Hmm.
kind of areas I see as interesting
Absolutely.
results.
Yeah, and one thing that I'll also point out is looking at my personal experience, let's say from March to April timeframe when the restrictions or the emergency state was first announced in Toronto, where I am, my product choosing capabilities did change a bit. So normally I would have gone, for example, for fresh fruit, but I opted for frozen fruit more, given that we were going to be in a lockdown and I wasn't sure how long that would last. So I noticed that the fresh fruit was available in grocery, but the frozen fruit was just gone. Like the third day I went there, shelves were clean. So to Nick's point, being mindful of what product people will be choosing and how to stock that. So those of you that are on call with us and didn't have a chance to participate in this poll, would you have any thoughts on how this reflects upon your experience?
If I can chip in, I wrote a recent article and it focused on what's going to be a big driver for the flight to value. One is the flight to value is a price sensitivity. People won't have so much money once the SERB's turned off and we get down to the brass tacks of being potentially unemployed or on shorter hours. But the most important thing, I think, is the raising of the availability issue. Because
Mhm.
for the reasons that you talked about, that when we went into stores searching for food to cook at home and those kind of things, and a toilet roll, etc., wasn't there. I think that's left almost an indelible print in people's minds. This is a bad thing. I only want to go into one store. No longer will I kind of browse when I'm doing my grocery from one, from a Metro to a Sobeys to a Loblaws, whatever, to get the best price. Actually, I want to go into one to put a mask on, gloves, and all that kind of stuff. And I want to make sure the product is there. Pricing's perhaps less so sensitive, except that maybe I'm on a reduced budget, so I will only be able to buy so much now. So I
Right.
think availability will be absolutely key in most consumers' minds. Can I actually get it in this store, or can I get it online? So when the web store says, I've got 10, I order 5, will I actually get 5? And that's going to be a critical defining benefit of shopping with a particular banner online or in store.